Welcome to the third episode of Boozy by the Plaid Cook. Today we are taking a spin on a holiday tradition by making two wonderfully delicious spiked eggnogs, and will consist each of a rum and a brandy eggnog. If you're looking for a non-alcoholic version, I suggest checking out the video at the top of this video or the link in the description for a vastly different thick yet creamy eggnog that might even rival these two recipes at any holiday party. So with that said, let's dive in. To get started with the rum eggnog, we'll need to grab a large bowl for separating the egg yolks into, a small bowl for all the egg whites, and 8 eggs. I find it easier to crack all the eggs into the smaller bowl first, then fish out the egg yolks and put them into a larger bowl. You can choose to keep the egg whites and make them into a meringue with a little sugar, but for this recipe it's not needed. Get out a mixer with a beater attachment and beat the egg yolks until they become combined. Then grab 1/2 cup of sugar and slowly add it in a little bit at a time to the egg yolks while mixing. After all the sugar is added, continue mixing until the mixture starts to thicken up and looks like the beginning of a meringue. Set it aside and take a large saucepan over medium-low heat and add in 2 cups of whole milk. We want to heat the milk so that it is hot but not boiling, just to the point where it's starting to steam. Once that point is reached, ladle in a little of the hot milk into the egg mixture while whisking it. We want to temper the eggs so they don't become scrambled eggs when they are added back into the pan. When the egg mixture has become hot enough, reduce the heat to low and pour it back into the saucepan while stirring. Now here is both the easy and hard part of making eggnog, cooking it for 10 to 15 minutes while constantly stirring. That's all there is to it, but do not let this boil or simmer, otherwise you'll have one chunky eggnog. When the mixture reaches a point where it's thick enough that it will coat the back of a spoon nicely, or leave a thick coating on the edge of the pan, remove it from the heat and pour it through a fine mesh sieve to filter it. Now it's time to add in the leftover ingredients, which consist of 1 teaspoon of ground nutmeg. I like to use fresh ground. 1/2 teaspoon of cinnamon, 1/2 teaspoon of ground ginger, 1 cup of heavy cream, and lastly, the most important part, 2 ounces of spiced rum. The rum you will want to choose for this recipe is a spiced rum that has really strong vanilla notes in it. Give everything a nice stir, and then pour into a container of choice to let it cool. Give it a fancy little label, and cap it off to put into the fridge. Alternatively, if you are impatient, you can put it into an ice bath while mixing it every once in a while to get it to cool down a little faster. When it's cold, pour into a glass and top with some freshly grated nutmeg. And there you have it, your homemade rum eggnog that was pretty quick to make. Although if you're not a big fan of rum, then how about a little brandy? Grab another large mixing bowl and a medium mixing bowl, along with 8 eggs. Crack the eggs into the medium bowl, fish out your yolks, and put them in the large bowl like before. Now this time we'll be keeping the egg whites for making a meringue, so set those off to the side for now. Give the yolks a little mix with the beaters and then slowly pour in the 3/4 cup sugar a little bit at a time and keep mixing until the mixture thickens up. Grab another large saucepan, set the heat to medium-low heat, and add in 2 cups of whole milk. Heat until the milk becomes hot but not boiling. Then ladle some of the hot milk into the mixture while mixing until the eggs reach a warm enough temperature where they can be added back into the saucepan. Reduce the heat to low and add the mixture back into the saucepan while mixing. Continuously stir the mixture until it reaches a point where it can thickly coat a spoon or the sides of the pan and pour it into a bowl. Add in the remaining ingredients that consist of 1 teaspoon of ground nutmeg, freshly grated of course, 1/8 teaspoon ground clove, 1/2 teaspoon cinnamon, 1 teaspoon vanilla extract, 1 cup heavy cream, and 2 ounces of your favorite brandy. Give everything a little mix, but we're not stopping there. Take your eggnog to be and set it aside. Retrieve the egg whites that were set aside and mix them until they become frothy. I might have wanted to use a bigger bowl here, but I always like a challenge. Add in 1 tablespoon of sugar and continue mixing until they turn into a meringue with nice stiff peaks. Then add all of it into the eggnog. Mix with a whisk until well combined, then attempt to neatly pour it into an airtight container and fail completely. Cap with a lid, give it a fancy little name tag, and put it into the fridge to chill. Alternatively, if you are impatient, get an ice bath and put your nog into the bath and whisk to chill. Now when you go to pour this, you may want to give it a little stir to let all the meringue get mixed in, so you don't get just straight meringue. Grate a little nutmeg on top to complete the ensemble, to which you will have a delicious frothy brandy eggnog. And there you have it, 2 deliciously spiked eggnogs that are sure to make any season merry and bright. These bad boys can keep in your fridge for up to a week or more, but I'm just going to give these a little taste test right now, starting with the rum eggnog. And oh, that is good. The rum mixes perfectly with the other spices to make one tasty eggnog. While we're at it, let's try the brandy eggnog, which came across not as sweet as the rum one, but I can say that the ground clove is a nice addition to the spices that pairs well with the brandy. These are so good that I'm going to stand here and consume them the proper way with the pinky out, and then promptly spill a little on me. But if you enjoyed this video or liked the recipe, consider giving it a like down below. Click that subscribe button if you haven't, and leave me a comment about what you think of these recipes. And I'll see you in the next one.